In this video, we are going to talk about 10 kids who went to jail for crazy reasons. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Even children are capable of murder, despite the fact that we typically associate the most horrific criminal acts with adults. Juveniles have been tried as adults in a number of instances. The courts found the misbehavior of these children to be so abhorrent that they tried them as adults. Some juvenile offenders act out in an effort to escape difficult circumstances. For instance, the Jones siblings made an effort to break free from their father's repeated abuse of them. Other young criminals and offenders experience severe mental health problems. Then there are the seemingly heartless children whose misdeeds seem to have been lifted right out of a horror film. For instance, Tyler Hadley held a party while his parents' bodies were still inside the home to commemorate their murder. These young people committed atrocities that were so horrifying that the courts tried them as adults. Here are 10 kids who went to jail for crazy reasons. So let's start. Number 10. Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser impaled a classmate 19 times to impress a fictional demon. Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser, two 12-year-olds from Wisconsin, lured Peyton Leutner into the woods where they stabbed her 19 times. According to the girls, they did it to appease the Slenderman, a mythical creepypasta boogeyman, and spare their families from his wrath. Leutner amazingly lived after making her way to the pavement where she was discovered by a cyclist. Weier and Geyser were both charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide and were both tried in adult court. In October 2017, Geyser admitted responsibility, but she argued that because of her mental condition, she was not criminally accountable. Doctors claim she heard voices from Maggie during her sentencing. She was given a 40-year prison term in a mental hospital. In August 2017, Weier entered a guilty plea, but to second-degree attempted deliberate homicide. She was given a 25-year sentence to be spent in a mental hospital since the prosecution alleged that she was also mentally ill and not criminally liable. Number 9. Denver Jarvis, Michael Bent, and Jesus Mendez set friend on fire over $40. For lighting 15-year-old Michael Brewer on fire in 2009 over a $40 video game debt, police detained 5 Florida teens. Michael Bent stole Brewer's father's bicycle and planned an attack after Brewer was unable to pay. Brewer was restrained by the group as Denver Jarvis doused him in rubbing alcohol. Jesus Mendez took the lighter from his pocket and lit the teenager. Brewer furiously tried to halt, drop, and roll in the front yard, but the fire was so intense that his clothes were scorched off his body. In the end, he dove into a swimming pool to put out the fire, but more than 65% of his body was scorched. Denver Jarvis, Michael Bent, and Jesus Mendez, 3 of the 5 teens involved, were each charged with attempted second-degree murder and put on trial as adults. They were all 15 years old. Bent and Mendez were each given an 11-year prison term for battery by the courts. In addition, Mendez received 19 years of probation. Jarvis was given an 8-year prison term and 10 years of closely monitored community probation. Number 8. 10-year-olds Robert Thompson and John Venables took the life of a toddler. In February 1993, James Bulger, too, was led out of a Boodle shopping center parking lot by 2 10-year-old Liverpool boys named Robert Thompson and John Venables. He was dropped on his head at the Leeds and Liverpool Canal by the boys, which caused him to start crying. Up to 38 onlookers remained uninvolved. Only 2 individuals disputed the 10-year-old boys' claim that the toddler was their sibling. Bulger was ultimately taken to the train tracks by Venables and Thompson, where they painted his eyes blue, kicked him, stepped on him, and threw rocks at him. Police suspect the boys may have also inserted batteries into the 2-year-old's anus while they were forcing him to eat batteries. Then the boys struck Bulger with a 22-pound railway bar, killing him by breaking his skull 10 times. 42 injuries were sustained by Bulger as a whole. The boys were given an order to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure, the usual substitute sentence for life imprisonment when the offender is a juvenile, according to the Telegraph. The 2 were given new identities by an unprecedented court order, and they were freed in 2001. The Venables has been in and out of jail ever since for disseminating indecent images of children. Number 7. Curtis and Catherine Jones fatally shot their father's girlfriend. Curtis and Catherine Jones, then 12 and 13, killed their father's 29-year-old lover Sonia Spates in 1999. Those close to the siblings initially said they were jealous. A separate male cousin living in the Cocoa Beach household sexually attacked the children, according to Florida's Department of Children and Families. Their father and Spates allegedly did nothing, so the siblings conspired to kill the relative who was harming them, their father, in spades. Both siblings pleaded guilty to second-degree murder as adults and received 18 years in jail and lifelong probation. Catherine Jones said she hated injuring someone but needed to go. 2015 saw their release. Number 6. Tyler Hadley took the lives of his parents, then threw a house party. Tyler Hadley, 17, hid his parents' phones in 2011 so they couldn't call police. He took 3 ecstasy tablets and blasted Lil Boosie's Feel Lucky to prepare. He took a claw hammer from the garage and bludgeoned his mother, who was using the home computer. Tyler struck his father with a hammer after finding his wife dead. He then invited Florida youngsters to a party while leaving his parents' bodies upstairs. The celebration had 50 guests. Hadley was tried and sentenced as an adult in Port St. Lucia. He was 17 and got the maximum penalty for a kid. Number 5. Ari Morales and Marcel's Peter beat and sexually assaulted a 15-year-old girl at homecoming. In October 2009, 15 to 40-year-old men were drinking outside the Richmond High School homecoming dance. A 15-year-old girl was invited. She drank before being propositioned, they say. When she refused, they beat and sexually assaulted her for 2 hours on a concrete bench. They pierced her with foreign objects, burned her with cigarettes, and gave her a near-fatal blood alcohol level. One of the attackers called the girl's father on her cell phone to brag about her sex skills. 20 witnesses watched the attack. Police knew what was happening yet didn't call for help. The girl was found unconscious under a picnic table by police who were called by a local resident. Critically injured, she was airlifted to the hospital. Ari Morales, 16, and James Peter, 17, were charged. The judge tried the teens as adults because of their callous and cruel behavior. Morales got 33 years and Peter 29 years to life in California. Number 4. A preteen fatally beat his 2-year-old brother. Christian Fernandez, 12, threw his brother into a bookshelf near St. Augustine, Florida, causing fatal injuries. Prosecutors said the act was deliberate and planned to charge him as an adult. Fernandez hit his sibling, allegedly. Fernandez pled guilty to manslaughter as a youth 2 years after his arrest. Before his plea deal, he was Florida's youngest adult charge. The ruling required him to serve 9 years in juvenile detention with supervised parole. In January 2018, Duval County released Fernandez. Number 3. 6-year-old Carl Mahan shot an 8-year-old girl in an argument. Carl Mahan, 6, and Cecil Van Hoos, 8, fought over a piece of scrap metal in 1929, a few months before the stock market crash that started the Great Depression. She hit Mahan with scrap metal and shot and killed her. Manslaughter was charged in Johnson County. Juvenile cases aren't usually tried by a jury, but Mahan was convicted in 30 minutes. He spent 15 years in Greendale Reformatory until age 21. Number 2. Marilee Gardner fatally slammed her car into another during a police chase. Marilee Gardner, 16, took her parents' car to meet a 17-year-old acquaintance on June 29, 2016. Gardner told police she planned to buy drugs, take them, and then crash her mother's car. She was stopped and tried to flee. She hit another car at 100 mph, killing 20-year-old Madison Hahn and 19-year-old Tyler Christiansen. In homicide cases, Utah considers 16 and 17-year-olds adults. Gardner pleaded guilty to first-degree attempted murder. Gardner spent his first 4 years in a juvenile facility. Number 1. Brenda Spencer opened fire at an elementary school. Brenda Spencer lives near Grover Cleveland Elementary. The 16-year-old opened fire with a .22 rifle from her window on January 29, 1979. She killed the principal, custodian, 8 students, and an officer. Spencer said she shot because she hated Mondays. She then claimed to be high on PCP and booze and that her attorney withheld her drug test results. First high-profile school shooting was Spencer's. Spencer was tried as an adult in California and pleaded guilty to murder and aggravated assault. She got 25 to life. Her next parole hearing is in 2019. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.